pulses concern me. And the reason that pulses concern me, there's three things. Number one, the 2025 crop is substantial. Okay, we grew a crop. We have demand concerns. Can they change by next year? 100%. They could change by the time you listen to this episode, but we have demand concerns. Pulses to me are globally, there is, the beginning of an abundance of pulses. And the biggest concern I have is that you, along with other players around the globe, I would say, maybe that's not quite it, but you in Western Canada, you actually have a reason to plant more pulses in 2026 than you did in 2025. And that just goes back to the high fertilizer costs. All right. So for me, we got a bunch of bushels to chew through already. Demand is a bit of a concern, and you honestly might plant more. So in my crop rankings, like pulses, I one farm today I was chatting with, we did their crop rankings, and I think we had, I don't know if it was 14 crops or something like that, but yellow peas was the last in their crop rankings. I'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, so pulses concern me. The other thing with feed grains, the demand doesn't concern me. I'm not really concerned about demand. I'm sure I could find a reason to be concerned about demand, but you guys have reasons to plant more feed grains along with the U.S. grower. Like the U.S. grower in today's scenario, corn pencils better than beans. So again, big crop U.S., big crop Canada, and you have reasons to plant more, especially in the U.S. Maybe not so much in Canada, but yeah, feed grains. I was not that I was harsh on them from a price perspective, but it's just a word of caution there. And here's where Houston, we have a problem. All right. I want you guys to do this too, because I hope that I am way out to lunch. But my wheat scenario, there's a couple farms that I did some crop rankings with. My wheat scenario was in the top 5. If you didn't hear that, I said top 5. Okay. Houston, we have a problem. If wheat is coming in your top 5, that is a problem. All right. And I'm very curious. I would really appreciate you reaching back out to me on this one. But on one farm, it was the top 3 crop. All right. So that's scary, folks. That's not right. And that is scary. And that's why I need to spend a little more time here on crop rankings. But one scenario, again, no lentils in here, no canary seed, no fancy crops, really. I'm talking soft white, CPS red, hard red, malt barley, feed barley, canola, specialty canola, green peas, yellow peas, maple peas, rye, oats, faba beans, flax. That's what's all in here. I got canola coming in the number 1 spot. So again, think, central to more northern farms across the prairies. Canola coming in the number 1 spot. I got my number 2 crop. Well, this is like specialty canola is in the mix here as well. All right. So that's 1, 2. Then flax. Flax was, with what we're seeing there for offers for next year, the flax was in the number 3 spot. Malt barley in the number 4 spot. Now I don't have a malt offer, but for this farm, I put a 550 in there. We'll see if that's too high. But even if I lower that, let me put that at 525. Yeah, it moves it into the 7 spot, moves wheat into the number 4 spot. But the problem here is that for this farm, they could forward contract all of next year's wheat, hard red spring wheat, a number 113.5 at $8. If I mess with grade, if I mess with protein, lower price, then yes, I can move this into the 6, 7, 8 spot quite easily. But a number 113.5 for this area, this location, they today could pick up the phone, sell all their wheat, and come in right around $8. Okay. Even if you are in, parts of Saskatchewan here, you would be mid 7s in this scenario, low to mid 7s. Now I could tell you, at 60 bushels, 55, 60, 65 bushels, you're still below cost of production. You're still at a negative on the farm. So it's very, very difficult to forward contract all your wheat crop at these levels, but it's there. If you're in Alberta and you're like, what the heck's this guy talking about? Just reach out, because I can point you in the right direction on that one. Anyways, it's not a big secret. Many people are talking about it, but it's there. All right. But that puts it way up there. Yellow peas, their offer today was $7.50. 50, and that puts it in the 15 spot for that farm. In the number 15, I guess there would be 15 crops on here. Green peas came in the 14 spot, and I'm generous on my green pea price. Yeah, maybe I could lower my seed costs a little bit there. The cost of seeds got to be coming down. Yeah. Anyways, greens, yellows, under pressure, maples, I have in the number 9 spot. My worst crops, again, this is kind of area specific, but not friendly towards, oats are quite a bit down there. And same thing with rye. Both those not, not saying like the oat price is terrible. I got a $4 number in there just for this farm. Oat yield has not been great. So anyways, folks, you can see what I mean here. It takes a little finagling, right? You got to figure this out for yourself. But my word of caution is pulses, and I know you're going to plant more next year the way things are lining up, but I'm concerned about that. A little concerned about feed grains. And man, when wheat is usually wheat is in like the 8, 9, 10 spot. When it's in my 4, 5, 6 spot, that's a problem. The other problem I have on here is when I look at gross margin, in my gross margin calculation, it is quite tight. Like there isn't a large spread between the number 4 and the number 8 spot it's less than $20 an acre. So, you can see like there's a pile of crops here that you could grow that don't have great return penciled in. So before I move on, we'll talk more crop rankings over the next couple of weeks. I know it's active on everyone's minds. We'll get the experts in. We'll talk to Chuck and get this sorted out. The people would look and say, this guy's nuts on his canola. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, what price are you using? Well, you could put a 14 in there, a 14.50. Today, this farm could forward contract all their canola for 14.50 for next year. And that's actually not even, it's a pretty realistic basis, maybe a bit heavy on the basis side of that. All right. Like 14.50 is there. And I was looking at strategies and for canola next year, because, you can look at this stuff, guys. You could take a peek here and see how this looks for your farm. But, and this is not advice for you for today, but, you could sell a $700 call, NOV of 2026, collect $32 on that. You could buy a 660 put for less than $50. It's about $17 a ton of expense. And that gave you downside protection, 1350-ish plus or minus, including your basis. That would be your worst case scenario. And then your best case scenario, and that one would be 1450 plus or minus in that range. But you can protect these types of values that far out. Now, just imagine if China says, hey, we're all good. Let's rock and roll. You could probably add $1 to all these. But anyways, it's there. We'll get back to that in just a second in eating your veggies.